By the early 1940s, the Luftwaffe urgently needed a modern twin-engine heavy fighter bomber to replace the rapidly aging Messerschmitt Bf 110. The intended successor, the Me 210, turned out to be a complete failure. The aircraft suffered from chronic instability, poor handling, and a host of other design flaws. Despite numerous attempts to fix those problems, the Me 210 never met operational standards, and production was halted after only 90 aircraft were built out of the 1,000 originally planned. Still, the Luftwaffe's need for an aircraft in this class remained pressing, and the resources already invested were too substantial to simply abandon the idea altogether. It was against this backdrop of failure that development of the Me 410 Hornet, meaning Hornet, began. In essence, it was a heavily reworked Me 210, designed to eliminate its most critical shortcomings. The fuselage was lengthened, and the wing profile was altered. Automatic leading-edge slats were added to improve handling, and the aircraft was equipped with powerful new DB603A engines. The first Me 410 prototype, converted from a production Me 210, took to the skies in late 1942 and performed far better than its predecessor. The aircraft displayed good stability, improved handling, and impressive speed and altitude performance. Even more than that, in fact, with a top speed exceeding 600 kilometers per hour, it was among the fastest twin-engine aircraft of its era. The redesign proved so successful that the Me 410 was quickly cleared for mass production. The first production model of the Me 410 A1 entered Luftwaffe service in the spring of 1943, primarily as a fast bomber. Its internal bay could carry up to 1,000 kilograms of bombs, while standard armament included two 20mm MG-151 cannons and two MG-17 machine guns in the nose. Rear defense was provided by remotely controlled side turrets mounting MG-131 machine guns. Although its primary role was ground attack, Germany's deteriorating military situation soon forced the Hornet into action against American B-17 Flying Fortresses and B-24 Liberators. Specialized variants were created for this task. The Me 410A1 U4, fitted with a massive 50mm BK-5 cannon, could disable a heavy bomber with a single well-placed shot. Another variant, the A1 U2, engaged bomber formations with Werfer Granate 21 rockets. Reconnaissance versions of the Me 410 were also produced, taking advantage of the aircraft's speed and service ceiling to conduct missions deep over enemy territory. Attempts were made to adapt it as a radar-equipped night fighter as well, but the Hornet achieved little success in that role. In its early service, the Me 410 performed well, particularly against bomber groups with inadequate fighter escort. Its speed allowed it to close in rapidly, strike, and disengage before facing heavy return fire. However, the arrival of long-range Allied escort fighters quickly changed the game. In maneuvering combat, the heavy twin-engine Me 410 was no match for nimble single-engine opponents, and losses mounted. By late 1944, Germany's situation had become desperate, and priorities shifted to producing lighter, simpler interceptors. Production of the Me 410 was terminated after about 1,200 aircraft of various versions had been built. During its service, the Messerschmitt 410 proved to be an effective multi-role aircraft that caused considerable difficulties for Allied bomber forces. It stood as an example of solid engineering and adaptation under wartime pressures. Yet, like many German designs of the period, the Hornet entered service too late and in too few numbers. Though its design successfully realized the potential of a heavy fighter, the changing nature of aerial warfare and Germany's declining fortunes prevented it from having a significant impact on the course of the war.